Hi everyone, I'm Robin Soul, and welcome to Arizona Highways Television. The running joke in Arizona is we have just two seasons, hot and hotter. But our desert does cool down, and so do the mountains of northern and southern Arizona. As our state warms up in the spring, the change of season brings an explosion of color, especially this year. Our snow-packed winter in the high country, along with rain in the valley, has set our desert on fire.
Most people who come to the Arizona desert really expect to see a bunch of cactus and dry desert-type sand conditions. But of course, coming out this time of year when they see all the beautiful life and all these beautiful flowers, they are just in total awe of the spectacular beauty that we have before us.
But it's not just the desert and the mountains that transform into vibrant shades of fuchsia, purple, orange, and greens. Spring also gives our plates a Technicolor makeover.
A lot of people think farm to table and they think of farm. So, produce, but we take it way further than that.
From farm to table, even garden to spa, Arizona's rich ingredients provide renewal and a fresh start.
I work with a botanist, and he travels the world to look for small farms to get his product.
Spring signifies coming out of the dark, from longer nights to longer days, breaking out of our cocoon and spreading our wings. Spring delivers Arizona's rebirth.
The Honeybee Extravaganza is a functioning honeybee colony and hive that you can see the workers and the queen. The workers are going about their daily business, bringing pollen and nectar into the hive.
Arizona's spring may be short, but it is certainly sweet. The old saying is, April showers bring May flowers. But Arizona operates on its own timetable. Rainfall through December, January, and February create a Technicolor explosion in our deserts. And that includes the towering Superstition Mountains along the Apache Trail. In March, April, and sometimes May, the mountains are a deep green with bright yellows, meadows of blue, and cactus flowers that burst open with the color fuchsia. The Sonoran Desert itself defies all those Hollywood myths about it being eternally lifeless and brown. You can see this especially as you take the Apache Trail around the Superstitions.
Well, along the trail, you're going to see the giant saguaro cactuses that grow in the Sonoran Desert. And you're going to, right now, this time of year, you're going to see a lot of wildflowers out, the lupine and the bluebells, the yellow brittle bush, the orange globe mallow. The cactuses are just starting to bloom also. So you'll get to see a lot of the wild flowers that are growing. But you'll also see a lot of the other desert plants, the native trees, the mesquite trees, the palo verde trees.
Susie Miranda lives here, but even she gets excited when the seasons change the deserts.
Just going down the trails, excitement, the flowers, especially now, the blooms, the colors. You would never think that desert will have beautiful flowers, beautiful colors.
Today we're getting a taste of slow food in a city that is anything but. Ryan is a Tucson native. He left only to come back and start something. Well, he wasn't really sure what he wanted to start.
I went to the Culinary Institute of America in New York, and I was just submerged in this food culture that was absolutely amazing. I came back for a little bit, and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. And then when I started really working in the restaurants here and growing relationships with people and the farmers and the other restaurateurs, I realized, I'm kind of the start of something.
Ryan's also a force behind Slow Food Arizona.
We're using local farms, we're using the produce, we're also using dairy, we're also using the ranches for beef and pork and chicken. And then, of course, you can't forget about beverages. Augustine
Kitchen is the first stop on the Taste of Tucson downtown culinary and cultural tours. They take guests, even locals, to downtown's hot spots. So let's crash the party.
Cool, well, welcome to Augustine Kitchen. I'm Ryan Clark, I'm the chef and owner. So this is our humble place. Hope you enjoy everything. We have 3 of our signature appetizers for you guys to enjoy.
Oh, good man, look at that.
And these always change. This is whipped pork and yams.
Right over here?
Yep, this is a raw walnut butter with a little bit of honey and fig. We have smoked salmon rillette, and then some burrata that's made here in Arizona, which is like a creamy mozzarella cheese.
Oh my gosh.
I hope you guys enjoy.
All right, I'm gonna try the salmon, how's that? All right, I'm gonna take a bite of mine. Oh. I don't want to talk with my mouth full, but that's so great. This is like a fancy lox and bagel. That's what I sort of think, right?
Yeah.
But you know, more upscale than that. A little more shishi. How did you come up with this idea for a sampler appetizer? Because it's so unique.
I don't know. When we opened the restaurant, we wanted something that would be like our signature dish, and we couldn't think of like one thing. So we're like, let's do 4 things and put them in little jars. And then we're like, that's perfect. Well, people love, when they come to the restaurant, they love to share something to start, and this is perfect.
And you know what's kind of nice is when you all share something, everybody can kind of compare, take notes. It kind of gets the table talking. While spring is the season when nature regenerates, it's also a time for us to renew our mind, body, and spirit.
Small, intimate.
2 words that describe what you'll find after walking through these wooded Spanish doors at the TUBAC Golf Resort Spa.
Every person that comes in there gets individualized personal treatment. And we have designed our treatments that way as well, but you can tailor them to fit perfectly with what your needs are.
The treatments are also designed specifically for the TUBAC Spa and to reflect the southern Arizona desert.
All of our treatments were customized through myself, and I work with a botanist. And he travels the world to look for small farms to get his product ingredients. So he takes great care in those products, and we also sell them in the spa. Our signature body treatment would be the Desert Flower Indulgence. And it's 4 treatments in one. You get a body scrub, you get a body wrap, and then you get a hot oil scalp massage, and then you get a rehydration with a small massage in the treatment. It's probably the top treatment that we do.
So what do visitors say after a day at the spa?
Well, pretty much they can't talk afterwards because they're in another zone somewhere.
The bright colors of spring are a major attraction, and by wearing a little color, you never know who might be attracted to you. Thousands of butterflies from around the world live in this rainforest, in the middle of the Sonoran Desert in North Scottsdale.
When you first walk in, you see butterflies everywhere flying, and you see tropical plants, you can hear the waterfall.
It may be a dry heat outside, but inside, the temperature and the humidity are set so that this living museum mimics an actual rainforest. But you'd have to travel to tropical forests around the world to see and experience what you can hear.
One of the unique things about a tropical conservatory like what we have is that in nature, all of the butterflies that I have in there would not necessarily meet each other because they're from different tropical areas of the world. So in here you get to experience them all at once.
And they fly freely, landing on fragrant flowers, and maybe even you.
Now, I know it's tempting to touch the butterflies, but you don't ever want to do that. You want to let them come to you. This, by the way, is a blue morpho. It's one of the most popular butterflies in the conservatory. Now, if you kind of want them to land on you, your chances are best if you're wearing bright colors. They like blues and greens, reds, even pink like my sweater.
And Amanda Nagy's dress and glasses. Like many here today, she and her mom Darcy are first-time visitors.
I think a little overwhelmed. I don't think we expected this many butterflies, so it's been pretty incredible.
This wonderland is also home to the largest butterfly emergence gallery in the world, where you can see their magnificent transformation and watch as a butterfly unfolds its wings for the first time.
So we have cocoons and chrysalids on display, and at any time of the day you can see butterflies emerging from their chrysalids, and it's really amazing because most people have never seen that in their entire lives. And if you think about metamorphosis scientifically, it's just the most amazing process.
And you could say this exhibit is the bee's knees, one of the conservatory's most popular.
So the honeybee extravaganza is a functioning honeybee colony and hive that you can see the workers and the queen. The workers are going about their daily business, bringing pollen and nectar into the hive.
And it wouldn't be a rainforest without water. The Amazon River Basin is home to more than 3,000 species of fish, more than any other river basin on Earth. But it's here in this aquarium that you can experience these fish up close without fear of losing a finger. And this 1,800-gallon tank lets you actually touch Motoro stingrays. From the delicate to the ferocious to the playful, Butterfly Wonderland lets you experience the rainforest without ever leaving the desert. Arizona Highways Television is brought to you by Arizona Public Service and the Arizona Office of Tourism.
The Japanese Friendship Garden speaks to people in so many ways. A lot of people come to the garden as they seek Zen or enlightenment. The garden, of course, lends itself perfectly to that.
It's amazing how a short ride on the bustling light rail can lead you to this tranquil space downtown.
As you enter in the front gate from 3rd Avenue, you come first to the very beginning of the 3-acre strolling garden. The centerpiece, of course, is the koi pond, and the shape of that koi pond is in the kanji character kokoro, which means heart or spirit. So it certainly anchors the 3-acre strolling garden. Green is the color scheme of a Japanese garden, monochromatic green. There are, though, variations of green, and then also you see variations of texture, leaf shape, size of plant, the way that particular plants are pruned to create a Japanese aesthetics.
The Japanese Friendship Garden began as the shared cultural visions of sister cities Phoenix and Himeji, Japan.
They have been sister cities for 31 years, and it was at the 10th anniversary of that relationship that the mayor of Himeji, Mayor Totani, suggested that a friendship garden, a Japanese garden, be built in Phoenix, Arizona, as a living symbol of the relationship between the two cities.
And so began downtown Phoenix's road to enlightenment.
Everything is to blend very seamlessly into the next area. So that is, in essence, what creates that feeling of tranquility, that everything works together beautifully. Japanese gardens are classified as an art form, as if they created a painting, but this particular painting is dimensional, living, and the best part of having a living painting is that we get to actually be a part of it and move through it.
Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." If you are looking for that elusive harmony in your own life, all you have to do is take the light rail to a secret garden smack dab in the middle of downtown. Chef John Sharpe of the Turquoise Room at the La Posada in Winslow does most of his shopping at the Flagstaff Farmers Market. Today he shows us how to prepare some special dishes using the churro lamb.
What I have here is a leg of churro lamb, and if you look at it very carefully, you will see that you can actually see the meat right through the skin cover. There's no fat cover on this lamb. These are free-range grazed lambs. What I have here is a number of cuts of lamb and some pork, which are going to go into our churro lamb pozole. This is Navajo pit-roasted corn, and if you look at the cooked one here, you will see that that is your traditional hominy. Right here, what I have is some diced lamb. I have some pieces of pork, and then these cuts here, also very interesting and worth looking at carefully. These are the cuts from the neck of lamb. And again, this is extremely lean for neck pieces. So we'll put that into the pot. The next thing this dish will get is a whole array of foods. Gets the tomatoes, gets the onions and the peppers, and then we have a whole array of dried spices here: oregano, marjoram, cumin, coriander, a little bay leaf. All of that gets put in. It's a very simple dish to do. Fresh garlic, can't forget the fresh garlic. We just throw a little bit of that in there. And then over here, I have a selection of dried chilies. We have chili negro, we have Oaxaca chili, and then we have the Guajillo chili. All of these get roasted or toasted and then put into the pozole. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just simply cover this with water and start simmering it until the lamb is tender. What we're now going to do is start assembling a dish that I call the Navajo Churro Lamb Sampler. The dish comprises of 3 different dishes. One which is the churro lamb pozole. The second one, which I'm about to start right now, is the lamb chop. And I'm going to cut a couple of lamb chops off here that we're going to be grilling. These we'll serve very simply on a bed of fresh arugula with a pico de gallo salsa, and then we're going to put this whole dish together. We're now going to do the green chili tamale. Take a couple of scoops of our sweet corn tamale. We're then going to top it with a little churro lamb green chili. This is generally taken from the shoulder cut, which we braise very slowly with cilantro, green chilies, and tomatillos. The last element of the dish, a little fresh arugula as a base. Then we're going to take these 2 beautiful chops that we grilled. We're going to put those on top. I'm going to do a little crema fresca on the tamale, just a little stripe of that. We're going to take a little bit of corn salsa, sprinkle it with a little corn salsa, just to give it a little bit of a crunch. Then we're going to take the pico de gallo, and that's going to go on top of the lamb chops like that. And then a little bit of cilantro for garnish, just a little bit more green. Take that like that. Put that over here. And that is our Navajo Churro Lamb Sampler. 3 dishes: pozole with red chili, grilled churro lamb chops on arugula with a pico de gallo salsa that has fresh sage and mint in it, and a green chili sweet corn tamale.
Arizona Highways Television is brought to you by Arizona Public Service and the Arizona Office of Tourism. Spring is the time when Arizona's wildlife comes out to say hello. Quite often, it's for the first time. A few years ago, we were lucky enough to see a rare birth firsthand and watch the tender and exciting moments as a mother teaches her newborn to stand on his own 4 legs. There is a breath of new life in one exhibit here at Wildlife World Zoo and Aquarium. Any birth is exciting, but the birth of a critically endangered animal is extraordinary. The addax is an African antelope that used to be found throughout the Sahara. It is now one of the most endangered mammals in the world, with less than 500 left in the wild. Their spiral horns are prized by poachers, and they were nearly exterminated. But all is safe inside their enclosure at the Wildlife World Zoo. Watch as this mother cleans her newborn calf. its first bath since literally being dropped into the world. And what makes this event even more unusual? Addax births usually happen during the night in a secluded area, not during the day. The male calf seems to endure his mother's constant grooming. It can take as long as 3 hours for a newborn to get their legs under them so they can stand and nurse. We have been here for nearly an hour, waiting with bated breath, hoping after each attempt he'll stand on his own. A little more encouragement from Mom, and he's up, then down again. He regains his strength, and try as he might, he unfolds his back legs and almost. Exhausted but determined, he makes another attempt, and we hold our breath. Finally triumph as baby Robin holds his ground. Arizona Highways Television is brought to you by Arizona Public Service and the Arizona Office of Tourism.
Beautiful to see this profusion of color every once in a while. It really is uplifting to the spirits. I love being out here with all of this.
At any time of the day, you can see butterflies emerging from their chrysalids.
We're using local farms, we're using the produce, we're also using dairy, we're also using the ranches for beef and pork and chicken.
Gardens rich with promise, and our tables filled with slices of the best spring delivers. Experiencing Arizona in full bloom is a small window of opportunity. Until next year, when you can once again see our state blossom in a beauty that is unmatched. Thanks everyone so much for joining us. I'm Robin Sewell, and we'll see you on the next Arizona Highways.